Okay. A very good afternoon to Dr. Lau and all my fellow friends. Today, our seminar topic is about syngas production of biomass gasification. Before that, I will introduce to you our speaker today. First is me, Nur Najiha Ikwani. Second speaker is Jocelyn Kennedy. Third speaker is Afifa Shasha. And last speaker is Nur Atira. Before I proceed, I would like to tell you guys that there's a Q&A section for every subtopic, so please bear with us until the end of this seminar. So, next. So the content of this seminar is first the production of syngas from biomass gasification. Second is the advantages and disadvantages of biomass. Third is the challenges, and lastly is the environmental impact. So first, I would like to ask you guys if you know about this topic. Anyone?
Don't know.
Well, I would start with what is this topic all about. So the meaning of this process is it is an incomplete combustion of biomass resulting in production of combustible gases consisting of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and traces of methane. Basically, biomass gasification is a proficient technology which able to convert any kind of biomass into a valuable product that can contribute extensively to renewable energy generation. Gasification is a form of thermal breakdown of biomass feedstock carried out at high temperature result in a gas known as produced gas, which it can be used for numerous purposes. So you guys must be wondering what is actually biomass is. Before this, syngas is created by gasification from a non-renewable feedstock such as natural gas. However, there is another way which more cost effective, which is the gasification from biomass. So what is biomass? Biomass is a renewable organic resources such as agriculture crop residues, which is the with straw and corn stubble. Next, it is also a forest residues. Next, and also the special crops grown specially for energy use, which is from the switchgrass or willow tree, and also the organic municipal solid waste. Next, solid waste and animal waste. So since any biomass material can undergo gasification, this is much attractive compared to ethanol production or biogas, where only selected material can produce fuel. So how does this biomass gasification work? Basically, gasification process is it converts organic or fossil-based carbonaceous material at high temperature, which is above 700 degrees C without combustion, with controlled amount of oxygen or steam into carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide. The carbon monoxide then reacts with water to form carbon dioxide and more hydrogen via water gas shift reaction. Hence, absorber or special membrane can separate the hydrogen from this gas stream. Actually, biomass gasification is a combustible biomass material converted into carbon monoxide, hydrogen, methane, tar, and thus at high temperature with presence of air in the gasifier. So before I proceed, any question?
Yes, I have question, Najiha. May I
Okay.
know why biomass gasification is much attractive compared to biogas or ethanol production?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So it is because biomass material can undergo gasification rather than biogas or ethanol production. In biogas, only selected material can undergo gasification. That's why biomass gasification is much attractive compared to biogas or ethanol production.
Okay.
Thank you for the thank you for the question. Okay, so now we'll move on to next subtopic, which is the advantages and the disadvantages of biomass gasification. We will hear from Jaslyn about this subtopic. So, Jaslyn, can you tell more about this topic?
Thank you, Ikwani. So let's proceed to the advantages and disadvantages of the biomass. Next. The first is biomass is widely available. This is because the biomass energy sources are bountiful in supply. So the organic waste in form of dead leaf, grass and tree, animal waste are available in abundance and can be used to produce biomass energy. As long as the organic matter from plant and animal is going to exist, so we are never going to run out of the biomass energy. The second is it's carbon neutral. Why is carbon neutral? Because it doesn't create any additional carbon because it's already been through the natural process of the photosynthesis, meaning it's already done job of absorbing the carbon dioxide. The third is biomass is less expensive than fossil fuel, or in other words, is much cheaper. So producing biomass energy does not involve capital outlay. So fossil fuel production involve high upfront capital costs, such as drilling to the rich oil well, constructing gas pipeline, and collecting the biomass fuel. Next is the disadvantages of the biomass. The first disadvantages of biomass energy is not as efficient as fossil fuel. This is for uh, for example, biofuel is like ethanol is a relative inefficient as compared to gasoline. So in fact, it has to be fortified with fossil fuel to increase the efficiency. The second disadvantages is it can lead to deforestation. Since wood is the one of the most used source of biomass energy, so vast amount of the wood and other waste product have to be burned to produce a desired amount of power. So the desire to produce energy on large scale can lead to the deforestation that would destroy the home of a large number of plant and animals. The next is biomass. Biomass plant required a lot of space. So many times are found in urban area, which mean that they are causing more traffic in those area and they can cause more pollution, which seem to be more problem than actual health. The last disadvantages of the biomass is it is not entirely clean, in which the methane gas are contained within the animal waste. So methane is around 30 times more potent than for a global warming than the carbon dioxide. So burning the natural material like wood also emit unenvironmentally friendly pollution such as nitrous oxide and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. So despite biomass being carbon neutral, it is still releasing the carbon dioxide into the air, which put it behind carbon zero technology like wind. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you so much, Jaslyn, for the sharing. Before I proceed, I would like to ask if anyone have question.
I do have question. So in this slide, the disadvantages, biomass plant require a lot of space. Why biomass plant require a lot of space in detail? Could you
Uh,
explain?
Thank you for the question. So, biomass production plant need a very large area to operate and store, which is limiting for any urban area. So, when biomass plant with grow with their own matter, so they require even more space, which mean a higher cost for surrounding landscape. So the uh, from the finding, so the technology for creating biomass energy is improving all the time. So the need for such a lot of space could change. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Let me stop you guys for a while. Just now, you answer regarding the a lot of space for biomass. I think you have mistakenly what is the biomass is all about. Actually, biomass from agriculture that let's say you are growing paddy. So after you take away the paddy or the rice, the remaining the whole plant itself is being abandoned. It has no use anymore. So that one is the biomass. So nobody will purposely go and grow something so that later on we can burn it. It is actually from agriculture, like palm oil, like paddy, like any trees that you have fruit. We take the fruit, but we have the tree trunk, we have the leaves that we don't want. We don't eat. We don't eat them. We don't extract oil. We don't do anything with them. We just let them rot. Normally, we will burn it so that we can turn it into fertilizer or become like ash that has some fertilizing component there. But if we do that, it will be waste of biomass. We can use this biomass, something that we don't want, from agriculture to turn it into fuel. So it's not like it is not plants. It is not like a plantation of biomass. It is from agriculture. It is waste. Originally, it is waste. Then we try to turn the waste into something useful, like fuel. Okay. From according to what you explained, I guess I think you already misunderstood lah. So I need to clarify this. Okay. Do you understand?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I thought you guys misunderstood about biomass already lah. And anyway, can if others are asking question later on, can you turn to the reference page so that I can like analyze the reference list that you are giving because it is inside the rubric. Okay, so when you are finished, you turn to for other groups also. After you like already finished, you need to turn to the reference list page for the slide so that I can give marks on that one. Actually, reference list, you need to have 5. Then I will give you 5 marks. Then if the content of reference list is quite relevant to what you have said, then I will give another 5. So reference list is not most important, quite important in this seminar. So if others still got question, can you continue to ask and then the slide controller you put to the reference list. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for the correction. So now, Afifa Shasha will continue with next subtopic, which is the challenges of biomass gasification.
The first challenges will be informational barriers. These barriers are caused by non-uniform knowledge of bioenergy technologies, which happen among organizing institutions, financial institutions, local communities, entrepreneurs, other stakeholders, and consumers, which hinder to the wide dissemination of this technology. These barriers are common and central to any debate on the exploitation of the renewable energy resources and climate change. The consequences of these barriers are the end user perceive the unreliability and confusion of the technology's performance and hesitates to implement it on a large scale. Then move on to the factors that influence adverse mindset of people towards bioenergy technology. There will be four factors, which is first, lack of basic knowledge and awareness on global warming and climate change. Second, absence of information dissemination related to biomass management and its uses, as the user do not have access to information relevant to biomass characterization, processing methods, and operating parameters. Third will be improper training, illiteracy, and lack of infrastructure. Biomass users are not well trained to deal with the machinery, and information about product specification, maintenance, and technology is still not available in the public domain. As for the last factors will be a focus or bias towards fossil fuel and concerns over high initial investment costs. Move on to the second challenges, which is the financial barriers. These barriers are caused by the development of bioenergy technology is typically associated with a significant initial investment, and the factors which contribute to the barriers are lack of government funds, inclination to establish traditional resources based on fossil fuels, excessive red tape, and bureaucracy. To illustrate, the manufacturer have to bear the principal capital cost of the site construction, equipment use, which are biomass preparation unit, gasifier reactor, modified engine genset, electricity distribution network, subsidies for the dissemination and commercialization of the technology. These high budget projects require regular maintenance along with research and development for technology advancement and sustainable development of clean energy sources. Overall, these financial barriers are major challenges in this biomass field. Let's move to the last challenge, which is institutional barriers. This barrier exists due to the abundance of biomass was initially pushed without building any relation with rural population. This approaches adversely isolated workers in the bioenergy sector who potentially could be key players in the widespread adoption and use of bioenergy technology. As you can see the arrows, the gap between the technology push and demand push strategy have proven significantly problematic in terms of stakeholder requirement and economic benefits, which influencing the development of bioenergy technology. For example, a large-scale failure of biogas and biomass gasifier in India happened due to the lack of mutual coordination among local bodies, communities, and support from government and administration. On top of that, the manufacturer were not showing interest in developing the new machinery as they forecast a potential lack of a future market for it.
Thank you, Informational, for the sharing. So, guys, we are open for a question regarding to this subtopic.
I have question. I'm wondering how does the financial challenge bring impact to the development of technology?
To answer the question, due to the rapid evolution of technology, those manufacturers have to invest more money on research and development of technology advancement, which will increase their operation costs. As what we can see today, big and small companies across all industry need to prioritize technology in order to effectively compete, keep operations running efficiently, and deliver greater value to consumer. If the manufacturer does not have enough budget, their technology use will be outdated, so unable to compete with others. So if you guys want to know which technology are likely to develop faster over the years, it is the technology that get their research well funded. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer.
Okay, so now we will hear from Nur Atira about the last topic of this seminar, which is about the environmental impact from biomass gasification process.
So thank you, moderator. Okay, for my section is environmental impact from biomass gasification process. Okay, the first one is air pollution. During the process of gasification, different byproducts are released in environment as pollutant that lead to adverse affect both environment and human health. So dust is one of the air pollutant that generate during feedstock preparation, storage and handling, feeding and fly ash removal. Some type of gasifier may produce hot particle as consequences of malfunction or equipment fault. It may ignite flammable material and cause a fire. The dust also can cause a lung damage, irritation of skin and eyes, and may form explosive mixture with air. Okay, for biomass ash, um, the ash remains after gasification is about 8% to 50% of the original volume is toxic and presents special problem because of the acidic, low pH and condition in landfill. Uh, it can cause a lung damage. For example, silica, which is fibrosis, may arise from fluid-bed material, and also the dispersion of gasifier does lead to air pollution. For fly ash and char is shows similar issue as dust and biomass ash because it can cause risk of fire, which illustrate that it must be stored in moist and closed condition. Uh, Next is gaseous emissions. Is one of the air pollutant also that relatively a high amount of sulfur. Chlorine ash was produced, and then nitrogen and sulfur also present in many byproducts, and the corresponding oxide are produced during combustion of the fuel gas. Next is carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas that produced by incompleted burning of carbon based on fuel, and it has no taste, smell or color and can be present in the fume, which is a combustion of fuel, and and this can lead to serious tissue damage and even death. Carbon Z hemoglobin was formed as 80 to 90% of absorbed carbon monoxide being with uh, hemoglobin, which is a specific biomarker of exposure in blood. Last but not least is water pollution. Cleaning of producer gas is an important component of any biomass gasification plant. A producer gas obtained from biomass gasification is often cooled before use in gas engine to increase the energy density of the gas. During the cooling process, some hydrocarbons are condensed with water, uh, and the result is in condensate contaminated with organic compounds such as polyxylic aromatic hydrocarbon and benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, and xylene. It is highly toxic, leading to a risk of water pollution, adverse health and environmental effect, and also the emission concentration of organic compound increase with time. Disposal of this contaminated liquid effluent generates environmental problem and needs adequate pre-treatment before it's discharged into natural stream. This water will release back into the source at the higher temperature and will disrupting the local ecosystem. Discarding of the such effluent can lead the contamination of drinking water, fish kill, and other negative impact. So that's all for my section. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Naratira, for the sharing. Before we end the seminar, anyone want to ask a question regarding to this subtopic?
Okay, I have one question. Can I know what is the major pollutant produced from this burning of biomass? Thank you.
Um, okay, thank you for the question. Burning biomass will release of various harmful gases such as carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, and volatile organic, which all contribute to air pollution. So that uh, air pollution is the major problem to our environment. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So next is our reference of this seminar. So if no more question, we would like to end our seminar here. Thank you for lending your ear. We hope that you guys can get a lot of additional information regarding to this topic. Thank you.